Well, y'all, we made it another week to Tuesday's Blues. This is a really special one today. It's the Black 335, somewhat similar to Mr. B.B. King. What can be said about the incomparable B.B. King? His playing style has probably influenced everybody in some weird way that plays guitar, and other instruments at that. His vibrato is one that's highly copied, that really unique. You know, I remember watching an interview with B.B. King and him talking about how he wanted his vibrato to sound like a voice, like, you know, a choir voice or church singing. Influence, you know, B.B. King was always picking up from the people he played with. And if you ever watch those videos of all those guys on stage, he's looking and he's watching and he's, you know, B.B. King stuck to what he did. And in turn, because he stuck to his playing of that major, happy, even when it's a slow blues type of playing, you know, you really had the sense that there was a powerful, positive spirit coming out of B.B. King and his playing. Some of the great things that I've always took from B.B. is his, you know, he had his B.B. King box. If you were playing in the key of B, your B.B. King box would be, you know, but he had a really cool way of kind of staying in the box one and playing these outside notes. And you have to think too, he's probably one of the most hardest working men, you know, in the music industry, sometimes touring 350 days a year, even well into his 80s. And, you know, there's something to be said about a person that, you know, obviously they're making money and they got to pay bills, but they obviously have a love for their craft and a love for their music if they continue to get themselves up there and put themselves out there every single night just to perform. So it says a lot about the person. Our featured artist today is Artur Menezes. I met Art in LA at a Philip Sace gig. We had some internet correspondence. Art is a great player. He's well known out there. I'm grateful that he wanted to do a spot on the channel. But he's played with all the heavy hitters out there, all those guys that, you know, you see Art's right up there with one of them. I know he does lessons. He has his own music out, and I'll put his links down below. You guys can follow him and check him out. But he's a killer player. He's one of the greats. You know, he's highly talked about, highly regarded just for that reason. But Art's going to give us a lesson right now, talk a little bit about B.B. King. This is going to be a little bit of a longer one, but I feel that this is a real important one to listen to because there is some great advice in there. Really goes into describing how that whole thing works, how B.B. King's playing, where he would like to resolve, what he favored. And I just think it's really helpful to those guys who want to pick up some B.B. King stuff. I know it helped me. I watched it. I sat there. I messaged him right away and said, man, this is some great stuff. So I would advise you guys to just pay attention to it. It's a deep explanation on that kind of playing. Check it out. Thanks, Art.
Hello, everybody. Artur Menezes here. Hey, Nick. How's it going, my friend? Thanks for having me. And I hope you're healthy and safe. Not only you, I mean everyone. So yeah, thanks for having me to talk about B.B. King. You know, there are a lot of players out there that probably knows more about B.B. King than myself. But I spent a lot of time as a kid, like learning note by note, you know, playing with the records and learning B.B. King's style. And then after that, I saw some videos. So before I was figuring out some stuff by ear and I wasn't playing correctly, which doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just, it was my own way, which is kind of cool, you know, because I was doing the vibrato in a little different way. But then after that, I realized, you know, I'm gonna see what he's doing, really watch his videos and then try to do that. So after time, I kind of got his phrasing on my playing, and some stuff I made it my own, you know, and when I try to sound like him these days, I can get like closer, but not as close as when I was a kid, because at that time I was really copying. But right now I just like to have all of those influences on my playing as something natural, you know, that I don't think, it just comes. It's like talking, you know many words. You have, because you read a lot of stuff and you talk to people, and then sometimes you talk you say some words that you learn from someone talking, or even slangs, you know. Especially for me these days talking in English. I'm not from here, from US, I'm from Brazil, but I've been living here in US in specifically in Los Angeles for 4 years. So yeah, so anyway, what really caught my attention with B.B. King's style, it's the notes that he added, because I started playing the blues or guitar. Actually, practically, I started playing the blues. I started playing guitar, playing the blues, and everything it was minor pentatonic based, you know, like a with maybe a little more volume, maybe with the sharp 4, you know, something stuff like that. Stuff like that, you know, like very, very Stevie Ray oriented, you know. And BB caught my attention because he was playing notes that were not on the scale. And I thought, oh, this is really cool. And that's what people, when they call me to ask for lessons, you know, they say, hey, can you give me those, can you give me that approach that you do when you're playing, that you are thinking outside of the box? I don't like that expression that much, because it's not it's outside of the minor pentatonic scale, but it's completely in the box, because these are chord tones, you know, or extensions, you know, from a chord, so some voicings. So I'm not playing anything outside. For me, outside is something that doesn't belong to the chord. So that's what outside means for me. But you know, everyone has their own opinion about this. But so he was using notes like the major third. So if I'm in the key of A, right? So I have my A minor pentatonic box right here. And it's tonic, flat 3, right? 4, 5, flat 7. And then tonic, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, tonic, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, tonic, flat 3, and then goes all over the neck. So when you play stuff like it's a lot of notes, but it's actually 5 notes. You know, you're just playing different shapes, you know, different places. And so BB was adding some notes. So the first one that I noticed, it was the major third. Because when you play a minor pentatonic over a major blues, I mean a blues in a major key, so we have actually dominant chords, right? So the minor pentatonic itself, it's covering 1, 2, 3 notes from the chord, but the chord has 4 notes, right? So there's one note that is missing, which is the major third. So now I can think minor pentatonic, and I can add that major third. So that's what BB was doing all the time. But not only the major third, he was adding the major 6. Because if I play the blues, for me the rule is, if you can play the chord, you can play the notes that belong to that chord, right? So if I can play the blues like with a 13 chord, or 6, or whatever you want to call it, so if I can play that, so I can play that when I'm soloing too. So BB was adding that note too, which is the F sharp, right? So he was adding F sharp as major 6 in the key of A. He was adding the C sharp, which is the major third, and he was adding the 9 too. So I don't know if he was adding, probably he was adding those by ear, you know. He's a self-taught musician, myself too, but after that I studied, so that's why I know from talking about intervals. But I think he learned that by ear. But actually those notes, if you play them, like the tonic, the 9 with the major second, right? And you play the 3, which is the major third, and then you play the 5 of the chord, and then you play the major 6. This is the major pentatonic. So his sound was very major pentatonic too. It was a mix between major and minor. But what I think, that's he wasn't thinking minor pentatonics. I think he was just thinking notes, because he was searching that sound, you know. So he was adding those notes. So when he starts like a song, like a slow blues, like a So it's going like 5, major 6, tonic, right? But he actually starts, when you think that you're starting a slow blues, on the pickup note, we're starting from the 5. So when you do that, you're actually playing the tonic of the 5, right? So he's playing inside the chord. But anyway, if you're thinking on the key of the song, so it would be like 5, major 6, tonic, and the bending on the 9, right? And sometimes he was doing like a, right? Which is minor 3rd, tonic, 9, same 9 here, right? Major 6. Or he was doing stuff like a 5, major 6, tonic, right? And he was playing a lot on this position right here. So if you think the minor pentatonic shape, the shape number 3, would be like. So he was playing this area here, but he was kind of thinking major and minor. So he was adding the major 6 right here, which is the fret number 11 on the 3rd string, so major 6. And then here I have the tonic, right? I have the minor 3rd, but he was adding the 9 too, which was bending a lot. Then you could bend like half step, 1 step, or 1 step and a half, you know? And he was adding, what else he was adding here? Yeah, the 9, the major 6, and the major 3rd, right? He was adding when he goes like. So this chromatic here, it's 5 sharp 4, which is the blue note, right? 5 sharp 4 or flat 5, 4, major 3rd, right? So he was doing that a lot. And one thing that's very, very unique, it's his vibrato, right? The way I see he's doing, I'm not sure if it's correct what I'm gonna say, but it's the way I saw it, and that's the way I understood. It's that he's doing the vibrato. When he plays with the index finger, he actually plays with the side of the finger. I mean, that's what I do, because I believe that's how he was doing, but I don't know. But that's the way that works for me, so I play with this, side of the finger. See how I'm putting my fingers? It's like I'm doing like a little bar here, but I'm just playing the 2nd string, so I kind of release a little bit the 1st string. And the way I do is not like with the arm up and down, like Clapton, right, would be like a. And it's actually doing like this motion. So I'm doing like a circle, so I go like a, and I'm not touching the neck with my thumb, so it's a. Stuff like that. To practice this, it's muscle memory, you know. You have to really push and do that every day, and first start slow, you know. You go like, and see what I'm doing, right? Like rotating, and then you start increasing the speed. And yeah, so he was playing a lot in this area, so. And what else can I? And then it's more like you try, you know, to play with this, play with those notes, with the records, and then try to learn by ear. So when he plays something, play along with him. So he goes like a. And then, so when it goes to the 5, I learned this from I don't know exactly what video it was. It was like, you know, I was obsessed with him, But when it goes to the 5, he goes something like a. It's one of the live recordings. I don't remember. He goes like a. Something like that. And then I changed it a little bit, but it was something like that also. And at the end of the songs, what I really like about BB, it's let's say it's a shuffle, not a slow blues. So you come like from the 5, and then you have the little break, right? So he was like. And then the drums, like the drum roll, and then he goes like, and then ends with the band, which is really cool, you know. Like. There's actually one song that he finishes like a. He finishes on the 5, which is really cool too. It's what I think is the most important about playing. It's not necessarily the notes, but it's the intention. And the intention it comes with the energy that you play the note, or actually your timing, right? Like the rhythm that you put. So his timing was really cool. It's very hard to play like him because it's like with Albert King. It's the same. You know, you can play exactly the same notes. But it's very hard to play at the same time, you know. But you can do that, of course. You know, it's just practice and study the players that you like a lot. But it's something that comes from inside. So even if you try to copy, it's not gonna sound that natural. So better you know the idea behind the notes that they use, how they approach, and then you play in your own way. You know. And thanks for having me. And hope to see you one day. I mean, we met in person. It was maybe a couple of years ago. It was at Philip Says's gig at the Baked Potato, and then we've been talking on internet for a while, and we have to play together. Hope we have a chance to jam someday in a show or something. Okay, see you guys. Thank you so much.
So thanks, Art, so much. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of helpful clues in that clip, and a lot of information you guys can take and you can apply to your BB King playing when you want to sit down. Some suggestive listening. Everybody talks about BB King Live at the Regal being a really impactful record, but I feel as though BB King Live at Cook County Jail, a little bit heavier playing, I feel. The band was rocking. They seemed a little turnt. A little fired up more. I really like this record. You have all of the hits on there, or quite a few of the hits. And if you want to cop some BB King licks, you can pick, you know, a ton of them out of this record. It's a great record. So I would advise anybody, go get yourself some BB King and really focus on the control, the vibrato, his elegant voice, and the way he would almost mimic his notes. You know, you hear the, oh! You know, those are some things that he would do where he would stab a note and then mimic it with his voice. I mean, it's just great, you know, and he had an elegant vibrato to his vocal quality, just as he did, you know, with that swinging wrist there. So I would advise anybody to swim in the pool of BB King for a long, long time, because there'll never be another one, and there'll never be somebody who can come close. That's why he's a legend. He's a beautiful man, and beautiful music is left with us forever. So we'll talk to you guys next Tuesday. Thanks for checking this video out. Thanks to Art. I'll put all of his information down below, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.